This morning in the Eagle studio, we have Morden Police Chief Brad Neduzak with us. Brad, good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
We're excited to have you here. We're talking about the back-to-school season. Brad, growing up, what do you remember about back to school?
In the early years, it was exciting to get back into a routine and, get back into in the school season. So, but with that, from our perspective now, in our jobs, there's some safety issues that we'd like to always remind people of.
And obviously, there's a lot of different aspects of, but things that can happen during the back-to-school season. There's drivers, there's cyclists, there's pedestrians, there's buses. There's a lot of things to think about.
There's a lot of activity on the streets, which will pick up greatly in the next few days here, starting the new school season. So a lot more traffic, parents driving their kids to and from school, a lot of cyclists, students walking, scootering. So we just want to remind the traffic to slow down. There's school zones, speed zones that we need them to be aware of and adhere to the speeds in those school areas, as well as, pay attention to the different pedestrian crosswalks that are in town and be prepared to stop. Also to the students, we remind them to use those sidewalks when they're walking to school and following all the rules of the road as a cyclist, being courteous as well to the drivers. So this is all just to help keep everybody safe and have a good school year.
Absolutely, it is. And one of the things we talked about is the best way to make sure things go safely is to give yourself more time. Absolutely.
I think that's the biggest thing is reminding people to take a few extra minutes to go to their destinations and come back, right? So they're not in a rush. They have time to slow down and react to different situations. Be prepared to stop at those pedestrian crosswalks and at intersections in general where students are coming and going. We ask the students as well to be courteous to the drivers using the sidewalks. And if there are no sidewalks, if you're walking on the street, to walk in single file, not 2 or 3 abreast, because it interferes with traffic having to go around them into oncoming traffic, and that's obviously a danger. So we ask just everybody be courteous, obey the rules of the road in both respects, and we hope that will help to make things safe.
And, it is obviously an adjustment moving into this season. And one of the things we talked about on the radio was that specific spot there on Thornhill Street in Morden that can sometimes be a bit of a problem.
Right. Yeah. Each and every year it's an adjustment. It's kind of like winter driving, right? We have to stop, think, slow down, and react to the different situations around us. But one particular area on Thornhill Street and 11th by our Maple Leaf School seems to be always a problem area. There is a traffic light that is used kind of double as a pedestrian crosswalk. So there are crossing guards getting students to and from school, and when the light turns red, they cross the students, and when they're done and back to the curb, drivers need to remain stopped at this red light. It is a traffic light, but it's confusing sometimes, and they feel once the crossing guards are done their job, they can drive through, and they actually drive through the red light, which is illegal. So it is a traffic light, and it has to be, used as that. So remain stopped at that red light before, and then when it turns green, obviously you can go through. But there seems to be an adjustment and a mindset there that we need to remind drivers of. So
it's always good to stay vigilant and be reminded of those things. And another thing we talked about was school buses, as they play a very important role in getting the kids back to school, and we got to be careful around those too.
Yeah, absolutely. Our drivers, are great out there to get our students to and from school safely each and every year. But we want to remind the drivers too. A lot of buses stopping at the different locations to pick up students and drop them off. So when you see those lights activated and the stop sign out, you need to come to a stop. No less than 5 meters from the rear or coming on to a school bus, and remain stopped until those lights are shut off and the stop sign back. And this is to allow the students to cross the street, getting on the bus or getting off the bus to go home. So it'll be an adjustment like it is every year, and a reminder, a bit of a learning curve. So we just want to help educate the public, the drivers, the students, everybody. And it's probably a good idea to remind maybe the parents to have a little conversation with their kids before going off to school, to remind them of the different things they should be doing, using the sidewalks, following the rules of the road when they're riding their bikes, using hand signals, stopping at the stop signs. And it's not just about the law, obviously, it being illegal or legal. It's about safety. So we just want to keep everybody safe and have a good school year.
Absolutely, we do. And throwing it back once more to, Brad Neduzak going back to school back in the day. Was there a specific class for you, or what was it that you always looked forward to?
I don't want to ever admit that I wasn't a great student, but, of course, like a lot of students, just like to get back and see all your friends, right? And gym class and recess for the big ones. But, so I lived out in the country and I had to take the school bus too. So I appreciate the school bus drivers out there and the jobs that they do, getting us to and from safely to and from school each and every year. So.
And one more thing about the school buses that I often forget is that they stop at the railroad tracks. Whether there's a stop sign or not, they stop there.
Absolutely.
You can get caught as a surprise there.
For sure. They do stop and put on their four-way flashers, and they open up their door to listen for any trains that might be coming. So be aware of that as well, that they will be stopping at those railway crossings. So
there we go. A lot of great reminders. Thank you so much for coming in this morning and telling us about it.
Thank you for having me.
Hey, I'm Ronnie Gunther. Hopefully you enjoyed that video. If you have something going on in the community and you want to share it on the morning show, we'd love to have you. Send us an email at news@PembinaValleyOnline.com. If you like the video, give it a like and share it with your friends. We'll see you next time.